Hello everybody and welcome on today's video. Today I'm going to continue the work on these shadow nets. We had a couple of cold and rainy days, there was even a little snow, but today looks a whole lot better and the weather forecast for tomorrow is quite okay, so I'll give it a shot now. So I now have to position the nets. The supports are well fixed, so let's have a quick look at these and then we'll start with the nets. So of course when you do this you don't want these nets to come down on your trees, so I took some precautions. I have two big screws here. They are going through this piece of wood but also to the piece of wood behind these planks, which these planks are fixed on a piece of wood that is behind it. So these are 4.5 centimeters deep, and then we have the other side of the iron corner here, and one screw is going directly through the corner, through this little beam, and then into this beam, and then just one screw here. And of course I have the same at the bottom part here, where I have just two screws there, but deep ones, and little screws here. But this does not, the weight is of course down, so the most vulnerable part is of course here. So that's well fixed, I hope. So the supports are 120 centimeters, so I'm going to need pieces of net of 125 centimeters, something like that. But I think the best thing to do first is think of a way to get the nets as straight as possible. So I'm going to take a few pieces of bamboo. I measured that the width of these nets is 180 centimeters. So I'm going to fix a piece of bamboo from one side to another with some zip ties, and then it will be easier to work, I think. So bamboo. Okay, so let's start. Not gonna need this. So I'm just going to take one side, roll it a little inside the stuff here, apply a zip tie, okay, and that should help. And now the other side. I'm doing exactly the same. So I think it's really important when you start something like this to first search out the material you're going to use and you're going to need, because, well, you want to have the correct dimensions for everything that you build or make. So you have to buy your nets first, because I noticed that these things are available in different sizes. So yeah, that's important. Okay, so this is already a big help. And now I'm going to measure 120 centimeters, and therefore I have 2 meters here. That's 120, and 120 on the other side. This microphone wire isn't helping, but what can you do? Well, anyway, I'm going to measure this 120 centimeters and then mark it and then cut. So everything is laid out quite okay there. I have this big wooden beam here to make some weight, and I'm going to mark behind that beam so that I have the width of that beam plus my 120 centimeters, because I intend to fix the net behind that beam on the wall. So this is the piece of shadow net that I need, and because, well, you see, that's okay, but I'm going to add a whole lot more of these zip ties to make this this edge a little more clean, and yeah, therefore I'm going to do that on 3 chairs, because it's going to be easier to access. So 180 divided into is 90, so that's 90. Like so. And then divided in 2 is 45. Like so. And maybe just one in every middle. I hope that I will not run out on these white zip ties. I have some black ones, but would be nice to have it all in the same color. Okay, so then 45, it's 22 and a half, that's here. And then of course the same here and there and there and there, of course, yeah. Okay, so they are all where they're supposed to be, but it's the last click that gives the strength. So I'm doing this with pliers, and then I will have to cut them to get it clean. One of the things I didn't like with my previous setup was that the nets were hanging like an old bag, and it was not very nice. So to avoid that, I'm going to put 2 pieces of bamboo extra at a third of the length, of course. So I'm going to take another piece of bamboo, measure 40 centimeters, and then well, fix it with little zip ties. So yeah, so this one is fixed. I just used 3 zip ties because, well, the weight will be on the other side, of course. So yeah, well, maybe I'll add 1 more. I see if I have enough. So 1 more to make the construction a little tighter. So again, 40 centimeters. Okay, so this is how it looks now. Bamboo, 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 and this will be attached to the wall. Yeah, of course, these bamboos and the nets are a little wider than the support, which is of course necessary if you wanted the bamboos to rest on top of them. Yeah, that's what you need to do, of course. So yeah, I'm going to fix them with my staple gun, and then that's just for a couple of hours, and then I'll have to fix it a little better, but that's not going to be a big problem. So let's fix them. Okay, so let's roll this out. That's not bad at all. Yeah. So one thing that's going to happen now, I'm quite sure, is that because of the weight, these things are going to fall over, which is not bad, because if it's like this, it's going to look cool. but I'm going to add a little piece of wood maybe here, so that it rests and it doesn't get elongated too much. So that's one. You see, it's nice and tight, it's firm, it's fixed. And I'll have to make 4 of these now, which went, well, faster than I thought. But I think the result is really quite okay. So I'm going to make 3 more and then fix them, and then we'll be back. All the nets are fixed and with bamboo. And now I have these 2 beams here on the bonsai tables, and I'm going to fix the nets on the table on these beams, so that I can put, well, the nets here, and then I'll fix it like that, and so you don't see the nets. It's going to be a nice clean transition. And this I will of course fix above, but so first I'm going to staple the shadow nets on these beams. So let me think. So this is one, and I want it to come in this direction, so the beam has to be here. That makes sense. But if the beam has to be there, I need to do that and staple on this side. Okay, so it has to be this way. Oh, like so. And then I want to have a 180 centimeter from here to there. So, yep, have to measure that first. So the first few staples are the easy ones, because I just have to adjust it to the end of the beam here. And then I need to measure 180 centimeters, so that's here, like so. And this is where the end of the net has to come then. Okay. So that will put a little traction on the net, that's obvious. But that's the whole point of measuring. Okay. So one here and one here. And now I just have to straighten this and make sure that everything is well attached and that it doesn't make weird curves. So it's going to be a clean transition. So yeah, I'm starting with one in the middle, which will be about 90. Yeah, that's what it is. And then 45, and then again, and so on. Yeah. All the nets are now fixed on the beam. So my son helped me with putting it back here, because, well, it's a 2 times 3 meter beam, so that's not possible to do that on your own. So now I have to fix the beam to the wall, and I think that it's going to be fairly easy. I'm just going to use a few big screws, and well, that will do the trick, I think. So this is how it looks right now. It's fixed. It is fixed on the wall, and so I unrolled all the panels. And the thing is, I wanted to make a system like this to be able to get it on and off as quick as possible. So yeah, I'm just going to need a piece of a wire here, and so I can push the whole thing up to here, put a wire here, and then fix the nets like so. And then, well, that's what you need when there is not too much sun. And if there is too much sun, but that's of course only in the real hot summer, well, it's easy to get it loose. But it's not completely finished now. There's another thing I want to do, and it has to do with the overhanging mats. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So this is quite easy. I like it. So what will probably happen here is, because of the weight, it's not really heavy, but it has some weight, this thing is going to come down and down and down and down, and that's not what I want. I don't want my nets to get elongated. So I'm going to put a piece of, well, I'm going to show you with a wire, but I'm going to do it with wood. So I'm going to try to make something like this, and then like so, up to here, you see, so that when the thing comes down, it cannot go much more than this, or maybe a hook will do, I don't know. So I'm going to try to find a simple solution. Simple solutions are always the best. Took a few measurements, and well, these are pieces of wood left over from the old supports. So I'm gonna need one big piece, and then a smaller one, always wait until this stops before you put it down. Okay, so these are the two little pieces of wood now, and well, I'm going to place this one on top of this one, and then let's see what it's going to look like on the supports for the nets. So of course I got to glue this and screw this, but first I have to paint this. And the thing is that I will fix this with one little screw here, and then make sure that I have enough opening to fit the two pieces of bamboo, of course, because they're both need to come inside that, and that will stop it from elongating and from stretching. So yeah, I need to make 5 of these, paint them, one screw here, one screw there, and that's gonna be it. So that's gonna be it for today. I'll just finish the wooden pieces and paint them, put them where they're supposed to be, and then put the trees back because I had to move them for safety. That's it. So well, a quite easy way, I think, to make a quite cheap good sun protection for your trees. So hope you enjoyed it. I did. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.